Hello friends, let us start our discussion on quadratic equation. Friends, this is a very interesting topic and it has many application in our real life situations. So in quadratic equation, we have divided this particular topic into 5 concepts. Once you learn all these 5 concepts, then I guarantee you that you will be able to solve each and every bit in your examination. So let us see what are all these 5 concepts are. So first of all, we will understand what is quadratic equation and its application. Then we will be discussing the general form of quadratic equation and how we can identify whether the given algebraic expression is quadratic equation or not. Third, we will see how we can find the solution of the quadratic equation. So there are 3 methods to find the solution of the quadratic equation. So the first one is the method of factorization. The second one is the completing the square. The third one is the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is also called as Sridharacharya formula. So we have a single formula here and by using it we can find the solution of the quadratic equation. Friends, the solution of the quadratic equation are also known as the roots of the quadratic equation. Roots of the quadratic equation. So we also see how these roots are related with each other. For particular quadratic equation, there will be 2 roots which will be as alpha and beta. And we will see how these alpha and beta are related to each other. That is our 4th concept. What is the relation between the roots of the quadratic equation? Then we will see the nature of the roots, whether the roots are real, imaginary, or both real and imaginary. So with these 5 concepts we will be able to solve each and every problem on quadratic equation. So let us see our first concept on the quadratic equation, which is what is quadratic equation and its application. Friends, let us start our discussion on the very first concept and let us understand what the quadratic equation is and what are its application. To understand the quadratic equation, we first need to understand what the polynomial is. Polynomial is an algebraic expression which has multiple terms but has only one variable. But in the quadratic equation, we have only one variable and the maximum power of variable is 2. So we have many kinds of polynomials such as linear polynomial, which is described by the equation ax plus b, where a and b are the constant and x is the variable. Now we have quadratic polynomial. The generalized form of the quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a, b, c are the constant and x is the variable and the maximum power of x is 2. Now we have another polynomial which is described by the cubic polynomial and its generalized form is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus dx equals to 0, where a, b, c, d are the constant and x is the variable. In cubic polynomial, the maximum power of variable, that is x, is 3. So we have seen many kind of polynomials, and in this chapter we will mostly deal with the quadratic equation or the quadratic polynomial, which is characterized by single variable and maximum power of that variable is 2. So generalized form of the quadratic equation. Generalized form of the quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Friends, you need to remember this generalized form of quadratic equation, because if question asks you to identify whether the given polynomial is quadratic or not, then you need to see whether any polynomial resembles with these equations or not, where a, b, c are the constant as earlier stated and x is the variable. So to identify any polynomial expression as quadratic, then we need to focus on the maximum power of x as 2, and it must have one variable, that is x, or we may have y square plus y plus 1 is equals to 0. So it has only one variable. The variable can be x or y or any other alphabet. So to identify any given polynomial as quadratic, then we need to see only these two conditions. So this completes our first concept. So let us see the application of the quadratic equation. Friends, let us discuss the applications of the quadratic equation. The quadratic equation has many applications in our real life situations. One of the applications we can see here. Suppose this is a warehouse. It has length as x and breadth as 2x plus 1. The area of this warehouse is given as 400 square meter. If I ask you to find out what is the length and breadth of this warehouse, then you need to solve quadratic equation. How? Let us see. Friends, we know the area of any rectangle is length into breadth. So we multiply length x and breadth 2x plus 1, and area is equated to 400 square meter, which is given here. Now we multiply x by 2x plus 1, we get 2x square plus x is equals to 400. Now we move this 400 to the left hand side. So it will become 2x square plus x minus 400 is equals to 0. Now if you solve this quadratic equation for the value of x, then you will get the value of x, and from that value you will be able to tell the length and breadth of this warehouse. So by solving the quadratic equation and getting the roots, you will find the value of x. By using that value, you will be able to tell the length and breadth of this warehouse. So this is one of the application. It will have multitude of application, and you have to learn it very well so that it will help you till your further studies. So with this, we have completed our first two concepts, which is what is quadratic equation, and we have seen some of its application. We have also seen general form of quadratic equation, and we have seen two conditions to identify whether the given algebraic expression is quadratic or not. So let us now move to our third concept. Let us see how we can find out the solution of a quadratic equation. Friends, let us start our examples based on the first two concepts. First of all, we will check whether the given equation is quadratic or not. So let us do a very first example. X minus 2 whole square plus 1 is equals to 2x minus 3. Friends, in order to solve this, we need to first simplify it and make in the form of ax square bx plus c, and then we will see whether it is a quadratic or not. Now we know the identity a minus b whole square is nothing but a square plus b square minus 2ab. So first of all, we will use that identity and solve the left hand side of the equation. So left hand side of the equation will become x square plus 4 minus 4x plus 1, and if you further solve this, then it will become x square minus 4x plus 5. So our main equation will become x square minus 4x plus 5 is equals to 2x minus 3. So if you bring 2x and minus 3 in the left hand side, then it will become x square minus 4x minus 2x plus 5 plus 3 is equals to 0. So if you add these two terms, then it will become x square minus 6x plus 8 is equals to 0. This is the equation which have seen in the generalized form of quadratic equation, which is nothing but ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Since it has one variable, that is x, and the maximum power of x is nothing but the 2, so we can say that given expression is a quadratic equation. Let us move to our second example. X into x plus 1 plus 8 is equals to x plus 2 and x minus 2. Friends, we need to first simplify the expression on both left hand side and the right hand side, so we do it separately. So left hand side, when we simplify it, then we'll multiply x within the bracket terms, then it will become x square plus x plus 8. And in the right hand side, if we multiply both the term, then it will become x square minus 2x plus 2x minus 4. And if we further simplify right hand side, then it will become x square, this will become 0, minus 4. So our original expression will become x square plus x plus 8 is equals to x square minus 4. Friends, if right hand terms is brought to left hand side, then it will become x square minus x square plus x plus 8 plus 4 is equals to 0. X square gets cancelled with x square, then we are left with x plus 12 is equals to 0. Friends, here we can see that the maximum power of x is nothing but 1, and it has only one variable, so one condition is not satisfied, and we can say the given expression is not a quadratic equation. So this is how we are identify whether the given polynomial is quadratic or not. Let us see one more example here. X into 2x plus 3 is equals to x square plus 1. Friends, right hand side of this expression cannot be simplified further, so let us simplify the left hand side expression. It can be rewritten as 2x square plus 3x is equals to x square. Then if we bring this right hand side term into the left hand side, then it will become 2x square minus x square plus 3x minus 1 is equals to 0. Then it will become x square plus 3x minus 1 is equals to 0. Friends, if we check this expression for quadratic conditions, then we can say that the maximum power of x is 2 and it has only one variable, that is x, so both the conditions are satisfied. Then we can say the given expression is the quadratic equation. Friends, let us move to our third concept, that is to find the quadratic equation solution by the way of factorization. Friends, in this regard we have made some steps, and if you follow these steps blindly, then you will be able to do all the questions in the correct manner, and you will not face any difficulty and you will not make any mistake while solving such problems. So let us see what are the steps in solving the question, then we will do an example on finding the roots of the quadratic equation by this method. So first step is to write the given expression in the terms of decreasing power of x. Suppose if an expression is given as x plus x square plus 2, then we have to write it as x square plus x plus 2. So the maximum power of x term should come first, then in decreasing manner we have to write it. The second step is we have to take common from all the three terms if there is any. If there is no common term, then we should go to step 3. Otherwise, if we have any common term in the three terms, then we have to take it out and move it to the right hand side in order to make it 0. So we will see the example how we should do it. So suppose if equation is given as 2x square plus 4x plus 6 is equals to 0. So if you see 2 is common to each term, so you can take 2 common from this term, then it will become as x square plus 2x plus 3, that is equals to 0. If you place 2 on the right hand side, then x square plus 2x plus 3 is equals to 0 by 2, which is nothing but 0. So we will get the simplified expression as x square plus 2x plus 3 is equals to 0. So this is simplified form, and we can easily find out the roots of the quadratic equation by this expression. Now let us move to step 3. As the name suggests, the factorization method, we need to split the midterm, that is bx, into two terms, that is px and qx, in such a way that bx is equals to plus minus px plus minus qx. That means we have to split bx in such a way that the sum of two terms, that is px and qx, sum or subtraction based on the condition, will yield the bx itself, and the product of px and qx will yield a into cx square. That means the product of first term and the third term. So the product of first term and the third term is ax square into c, and it should be equated to px into qx. So let us see with the example. Suppose we have given the example x square minus 3x minus 10 is equals to 0. As I told you that we want to split minus 3x in such a way that the product of those two terms, that is px and qx, the product of px into qx should give us acx square. That means the product of first term and the last term, and it is nothing but minus 10x square in this case. And further, we have to choose px and qx in such a way that the summation or the subtraction of px and qx should give us the middle term, that is bx. So in this case, px plus or minus, either we add them or subtract them, then it should give us 3x. To do that, we have to take this digit and find its LCM, 2 and 5. So we have got 2 digits. In some cases, we get some more factors. So out of those factors, we have to find 2 digits in such a way that the product of that 2 digit, that is px and qx, should give us minus 10 square, and their sum or subtraction gives us 3x. So here minus 3x is there, so it should give us minus 3x. Now if you multiply px and qx, that is 2x and 5x, then it will give us 10x square, but we want in negative. So if either of the digit is in negative, then it will satisfy this condition, but we have to satisfy this condition also. If we subtract 5x and 2x, then it should give us minus 3x, and this is only possible when the greater digit, which is 5x, is negative. So if we subtract minus 5x with 2x, then it will give me the 3x. So this will become the valid factor for this quadratic equation, and we can write it as x square minus 5x plus 2x minus 10 is equals to 0. So this will be our factor, and this completes our step. Let us take another example. X square plus 32x minus 273 is equals to 0. Now we want to split 32x in px and qx in such a way that the multiplication of px and qx should give us minus 273, and sum or subtraction of px and qx should give us plus 32x. So let us take the LCM of 273. 3, 91, 7, 13, 13, 1. So we have got 3 digits, that is 3 into 7 into 13. but we have to choose only two digits, that is px and qx. So what would be the possible combination? One possible combination would be 13 into 3, that is 39 and 7. One could be 21 and 13, and one could be 91, that is 13 into 7 and 3. So let us see out of these three which one will be possible for this quadratic equation. So 39 minus 7 will give us 32x, and 39 into 7 obviously will give us 273. So this may be the possible combination, but 21 minus or plus 13 will not give us 32, so this is not a valid combination. 91 plus minus 3 will never give us 32x, so this will never be possible. So the only possibility is 39 and 7. So let us see the signs. In the product term we want negative, so either of the digit has to be negative. So which one is to be negative? That is decided by this factor. This 32x we want in positive, so the greater number has to be positive, and if we subtract 39 minus 7, then it will give us plus 32. So 39x minus 7x will be our desired factor. So we can write it as x square plus 39x minus 7x minus 273 is equals to 0. So this would be our desired factor. Let us take another example. X square plus 3x minus 180 is equals to 0. So in this we want px and qx. We want to split 3x into px and qx in such a way that the product of px and qx will give us minus 180x square. That means a into c into x square, a c x square, and their sum or subtraction should give us bx, that is equals to plus 3x is equals to bx. So let us take the LCM of 180. We will always take the LCM of this product a into c. We will always take LCM of a into c, that you remember. This is nothing but a into c. So let us take the LCM. 2, 90, 3, 30, 2, 15, 3, 5 and 5, 1. So we have got the factors 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 5. So with these factors we have to multiply these digits and get only two digits px and qx in such a way that it will give us the product minus 180x square, and the sum or subtraction of these will give us plus 3x. So let us see the possible combinations. So 2 into 2 4, 3 into 3 9, 9 into 5 45. This is one possibility. 2 into 2 into 3, that means 12, and 5 into 3 15. This is one possibility. 2 into 3 into 3 into 3, that means 36, and 5 is one of the possibility. So these are the possibilities with these factors. So let us see which one satisfies our condition, these two conditions, such that we factor 3x. We can split 3x into px and qx. Now by multiplying these two factors will always give us 180, because we have taken the LCM of these. So if we multiply, then 180 will be satisfied. But what about 3x? So let us see which one is the closest with this factor. So 45 plus or minus 4 will never give us 3x. So this is not possible. 36 and 5 plus minus 36 5 will never give us 3x. So this is also not possible. But if we subtract 15 with 12, then we can get 3x. So this would be our desired factors, but we have to see the signs also. Since in the product we have negative sign, so either of these digit has to be negative. but which one has to be negative, we come to know from this condition, that is 3x. We want plus 3x, that means the greater digit has to be positive and the smaller digit has to be negative. So 12x and 15x will give us the desired factors for this quadratic equation, and we can split the middle term as x square minus 12x plus 15x minus 180 is equals to 0. So this way we can find the factors for the quadratic equation, and we can split the middle term into px and qx. Let us see one more example for completing the step 3 is x square minus 6x plus 8 is equals to 0. So we have to split the midterm, that is minus 6x, in such a way that the product of the two term will give us 8x square, and sum or subtraction of those terms will give us minus 6x. So what are the possible combination with this? We have to find out 4x and 2x. If we have to get the product, then we have to make both as negative, such that product of two negative value will become the positive x, but we need the sum of these two term is minus 6x. So minus 4x and minus 2x becomes the minus 6x. So this is our valid combination. So we can rewrite our original equation as x square minus 4x minus 2x plus 8 is equals to 0. So this completes our step 3. After completing the step 3, we have to move to step 4, which is nothing but take common from the first two term and the remaining two term in such a way that it will become in this form. So let us see with the previous example how we should do it. So in this first two term we can take x as common, then we can write within bracket x minus 4, and in this term we can take common minus 2 as common, and within bracket it will become x minus 4. Friends, we have to pay attention here that within the bracket term it must be same, otherwise you cannot go to step 5. So you have to choose common term in such a way that the term within the bracket becomes same. So this completes our step 4. Now in step 5 we have to take common the bracket term and then write in this form. Let us see the same example here. These are the two terms. This is one term and this is the second term. So in these both the terms we can take x minus 4 as common, then here we will get x and here minus 2 will be left. It will become 0. So this will become in this form. So this completes our step 5. Now we have arrived at the last step, that is step 6. Friends, we can see here that these two product identity will become 0 only when either of these is equated to 0, then only this expression will become 0. So case 1 is nothing but when x minus 2 is assumed to be 0, then x will become equal to 2. Case 2, when x minus 4 is equals to 0, in this case x will become 4. So we are getting two values of x, which is nothing but our solution to the quadratic equation. So the value of x will be 2 and 4 for this quadratic equation, x square minus 6x plus 8 is equals to 0. So this is how we are getting the roots of the quadratic equation. These roots are also known as zeros of the quadratic equation. So this manner we can find out the solution of the quadratic equation with this simple 6 steps. So let us practice some of the examples to find out the roots of the quadratic equation by the method of factorization. Friends, let us take the example as 2x square minus 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. So we will follow all the 6 steps for these, and we have to find out the roots of this quadratic equation. That means the value of x for this quadratic equation. So our step first was to write the expression in decreasing power of x, which is already there. Now our step 2 is to take out the common from each of these three terms, but in this expression we can see that there is no common term, so step 2 can be skipped now. Now third step involves the splitting of the midterm in such a way that the product of first and third term is equals to the product of that splitted term, and the sum of those terms px and qx will give you 5x. So let us write it here. So 2 into 3 into x square we want, that means 6x square we want, and we want 5x. So let us see the possible combination. Possible combinations are 3x and 2x. So 3x and 2x will give you 3x plus 2x will give you 5x, and the product of this will give you 6x square. But we have to satisfy with the signs also. So in the product term we want positive, and in the summation term we want the negative term. So this is possible when we make both the term as negative. Minus 3x minus 2x will give you 5x, and the product of minus 3x into minus 2x will give you 6x square. So this is the valid combination we have got. So let us split the middle term and rewrite our quadratic equation as 2x square minus 2x minus 3x plus 3 is equals to 0. So let us switch to our fourth step, which is nothing but take out the common. So from the first two terms we can take 2x as common, then we get x minus 1 in the bracket, and in the second two terms we can take minus 3 as common, then we will get in the bracket x minus 1 within the bracket is equals to 0. Here we can see that x minus 1 in both the bracket is same, so we have taken the correct common in both the terms. Now our fourth step tells us that you take the term which is in the bracket common from both these terms. So we will get x minus 1, then in the bracket we are left with 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. Friends, the product of two expression is equated to 0 when either of the term is 0. So let us assume x minus 1 is equals to 0, and the second case is 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. So from first case we are getting value of x as 1, and from the second case we are getting the value of x as 3 by 2. So we are getting the solution or the roots of the quadratic equation as 1 and 3 by 2. So these are the two roots of the quadratic equation. Friends, let us try with the another example. 6x square minus x minus 2 is equals to 0. So friends, first of all we have to write the given equation in the decreasing power of x, which is already there. We need not to do the step 1. The second step is to take out the common from each of the term. So here we can see that there is no common term. There is common term between first and third term, but there is no common term in the middle term, so we can skip it. Now the third step is to split the middle term into two parts. So here what we get the product as minus 2 into 6x square and sum as minus x. So what in short we want minus x as the sum of the two terms, and we want minus 12x square as the product of the two terms. So let us see the possible combinations. So the possible combinations are So the possible combinations are 6x and 2x and 4x and 3x. Now let us see where we get it. If we use 6x and 2x, then we get 12x square, but minus x is not possible by summation or the subtraction of these two terms. So let us try with the second one. 4x and 3x, the product of these two terms will give you minus 12x square, and if we subtract 4x with minus 3x, then we may get minus x also. So let us choose the signs of these two terms. Here we are getting minus 12x square. So if we choose either of the term as negative, then we will get minus 12x square. But if we subtract these two terms, then we need to get minus x. So the greater term should be negative in this case. In order to subtract minus 4x with 3x, then we will get minus x. So minus x will be negative here and 3x will be positive here. So in such a way, we need to assume the signs of the splitted terms. So let us rewrite our quadratic equation as 6x square minus 3x plus 3x minus 4x minus 2 is equals to 0. Now let us go to fourth step, is to take common. So we take common as 3x. In the bracket we get 2x plus 1, and in these two terms we take minus 2 as common. So minus 2 as common will give you 2x plus 1. Here we can see that the terms in the brackets are the same, so we have taken the common terms correctly. So let us further common 2x plus 1 from these two terms as 2x plus 1 is common. So in the bracket we get 3x minus 2 is equals to 0. So we see here that the product of two identities is equals to 0. This is possible when either of these is equated to 0. So let us make two cases. 2x plus 1 is equals to 0 and 3x minus 2 is equals to 0. So from this we are getting x as 2x equal to minus 1 and x equal to minus 1 by 2, and here we see that 3x is equals to 2 and x equal to 2 by 3. So we are getting the two roots of the equation. One is nothing but minus 1 by 2 and other is 2 by 3. Friends, we have found out the roots of the quadratic equation, but to check whether we have find the roots of the equation correct or not, then we need to check it out. So for this equation 2x square minus 5x plus 3, we found two roots, that is x equal to 1 and x equal to 3 by 2. For this equation 2x square minus 5x plus 3 equal to 0. So we need to find out whether we found the correct root or not. So this can be checked by putting the value of x in this expression. So if this expression after putting the value of x becomes 0, then we can say that we have found the correct root of the equation. So let us try the first value, that which is nothing but the 1. So let us put 1 in this equation. It will become 2 into 1 square minus 5 into 1 plus 3 equal to 0. So 2 minus 5 plus 3 is equals to 0. 2 plus 3 is equals to 5 minus 5 is equals to 0. 5 minus 5 is nothing but the 0 is equals to 0. That means this root, this value of x is satisfying this equation. That means we found the root as correct. So let us try with another root. Whether the 3 by 2 is the correct root of this quadratic equation or not, we need to check. 3 by 2 in this particular equation, we get 2 into 3 by 2 whole square minus 5 into 3 by 2 plus 3 equal to 0. So 2 into 9 by 4 minus 5 into 3 by 2 plus 3 equal to 0. So 2 and 2 get cancelled. So we are left with 9 by 2 minus 15 by 2 plus 3 equal to 0. Now we take the LCM, then this will become 9 minus 15 plus 6 by 2 is equals to 0. Let us cross multiply this, then this 2 will be multiplied with 0 and it will become 0, and we will be left with minus 15 plus 15 is equals to 0. Minus 15 and 15 is nothing but 0 is equals to 0. That means this 3 by 2 root is also satisfying this equation. That means we found the root as correct. So this way we can check our answer whether we are doing it right or not. Friends, let us move to our second method of finding the roots of the quadratic equation by the method of completing the square. Friends, this method is useful when the constant associated with the term x square is equals to 1. As you all know that the generalized form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c. So when a is equals to 1, then this method is very useful. So let us see how we find the roots of the quadratic equation using this method. Let us see the steps. In this method, the first two steps, that is step 1 and 2, remain same as we have done with the method of factorization. That means first we will write the quadratic equation in the decreasing power of x. In the second step, we will take out the common and put it in the right hand side, which will become 0. That will simplify our quadratic equation. Now in the third step, this is different from the factorization method. In this step, what we do, suppose we are getting the equation in the form x square plus bx plus c, then we have to add two terms in this quadratic equation, as we will divide b by 2 and take the whole square. So one term will be plus b by 2 whole square and the second term will be minus b by 2 whole square. Friends, if we are adding and subtracting the same term in this equation, then it remains unaffected. So we can do this. After making this equation will be formed in this way. So it will become x square plus b by 2 whole square plus bx minus b by 2 whole square plus c equal to 0. Friends, if we cancel these two terms, then it will become our earlier term. So it is not affecting this equation. Now in this step 4, what we do? Before moving to step 4, let us see how we do the step 3 by taking an example. X square plus 4x minus 5 is equals to 0. Then we have to complete the square. Now we will do the step 3 and we will divide b, which is nothing but 4 by 2, and take its whole square. So we can write it as x square plus 4x plus 4 by 2 whole square minus 4 by 2 whole square minus 5 is equals to 0. Friends, you can see here that these two terms get cancelled and we will get our original expression. So this two terms is not affecting on this quadratic equation. So this is valid to be written in this way. This completes our step 3. Now let us look at step 4. Step 4 is to utilize the identity x plus b whole square, which is nothing but x square plus b square plus 2bx. And we have to use this identity and make our quadratic equation in this form, which is nothing but x plus b whole square minus d square is equals to 0. And then we will write x plus b whole square is equals to d square. So this is our step 4. So in this equation, we know that a plus b whole square is nothing but a square plus b square plus 2ab. Now here we can use the first three terms to make this identity, and first simplify this term, then we will make this identity. It will become x square plus 4x plus 2 square minus 2 square minus 5 is equals to 0. Then we have the identity a plus b whole square, and it can be written as x plus 2 whole square, which is nothing but x square plus 2 square plus 4x. Then we can write here minus 4 minus 5 is equals to 0. This will become 9. Then we can write x plus 2 whole square minus 9 is equals to 0. X plus 2 whole square is nothing but 9, and 9 can be written as 3 square. It can be written as 3 square if we take a square root on both the side, which is nothing but our step 5. So let us look at the step 5, which is nothing but the taking square root on both the side. Then we will get the value of x as plus minus d minus b. So this solves our problem of finding the solution of x. So if we take the square root on both sides, then square get cancelled in both the side. The expression will become x plus 2 is equals to 3. So friends, if we are taking the square root of any integer, then the result will be obtained in the form of plus and minus. So here we are getting the two cases when x plus 2 is equals to plus 3 and when x plus 2 is equals to minus 3. So by evaluating this, we can get x is equals to 3 minus 2 is nothing but 1, and here from this expression we are getting x is equals to minus 3 minus 2 and x is nothing but minus 5. So we are getting two roots of the equation as x equal to 1 and minus 5. So friends, we have got two roots of the equation. Let us check whether these roots are correct or not. We will put the value of x in the given quadratic equation, which is nothing but x square plus 4x minus 5 is equals to 0. Let us see whether it satisfies it or not. We will put first the value of x equal to. So if we put the value of 1, the equation x square plus 4x minus 5 is equals to 0 will be written as 1 square plus 4 into 1 minus 5 is equals to 0, which is nothing but 1 plus 4 minus 5 is equals to 0. 4 plus 1 is equals to 5 and 5 minus 5 is equals to 0. 0 is equals to 0. That means this root is satisfying this equation, hence we evaluated the correct root. Similarly, minus 5 can be put in this equation, and if we are getting 0, then we have found the correct root of the equation. So this can also be checked here. Minus 5 whole square plus 4 into minus 5 is equals to 0. Minus 5 into minus 5 is nothing but 25, and 4 into minus 5 is nothing but minus 20. Minus 5 is equals to 0. Minus 20 and minus 5 will become minus 25, and 25 minus 25 will become 0. So 0 is equals to 0. So both the roots are satisfying the given quadratic equation, hence the root of the quadratic equation is 1 and minus 5. Friends, let us start our third method of calculating the roots of the quadratic equation, and this is nothing but the Sridharacharya formula or the quadratic formula. So in this we have been given one direct formula through which we can calculate the roots of the quadratic equation. So this formula is given by this equation, which is x is equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Friends, we have earlier seen that the generalized form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. And given the quadratic equation, we can compare the constant a, b, c, and from that we can find the value of a, b, c. Using these values, we can put up in this formula and to get the roots, that is the value of x, directly from the quadratic equation. Friends, this formula is useful when the earlier two methods fails, and they will fail when you are not able to find a valid factors for the quadratic equation, and the second method is method of completing the square, and in that if you find much complexity, then you can avoid that. So you can use this Sridharacharya formula. So let us take the example and see how this formula can be utilized. So we have one equation, x square minus 3x minus 10 is equals to 0. Now generalized form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Now a is equals to 1. A is equals to 1. If we compare these two equations, then we get a is equals to 1 and b is equals to minus 3 and c is equals to minus 10. B is equals to minus 3 and c is equals to minus 10. So if we put x is equals to Sridharacharya formula plus minus b under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So if we put the value of a, b, c in this formula, then we get the solution for x, that is minus b is minus 3. So minus of minus 3 plus minus under root b square is minus 3 whole square minus 4 into a is 1 into c is minus 10 divided by 2 into a. 2a is 1. So if we evaluate minus get cancel, so 3 plus minus under root 3 square is 9 minus 4 into 10 40, and this minus and minus get cancelled, so 40 here and 2 here. So if you solve this, then you get 3 plus minus under root minus 31 divided by 2. So this gives us two cases, one is plus and another is minus. So we can separate it, 3 plus under root minus 31 by 2, this is one of the root, and another is 3 minus under root minus 31 by 2, this is the second root. So we are getting the solution for x. X has two values for this quadratic equation, 3 plus under root minus 31 by 2 and 3 minus under root minus 31 by 2. So this will be the solution. So this way you can use this formula to get the roots of the quadratic equation. Let us move to our next concept. Friends, we have told you that the solution of the quadratic equation is nothing but the roots of the quadratic equation, and these are represented by alpha and beta. That means x is equals to alpha and beta. So when we solve any quadratic equation, so we are getting two roots, and one root is represented by alpha and another root is represented by beta. One root is represented by alpha and another root is represented by beta. So there is a relation between alpha and beta. If you take the sum of the roots, that means alpha plus beta, then it can be directly calculated from the quadratic equation by this relation. That means if you want sum of the roots, then it will be minus b by a. So alpha plus beta is given by minus b by a, and product of the roots is alpha into beta is given by c by a. So you have to remember these two formula for relation between the roots of the quadratic equation. So let us see in this example. If you want to calculate alpha plus beta, then you have two options. If you want to calculate alpha plus beta, then you have two options. So the given quadratic equation is x square minus 3x minus 10 is equals to 0. So if you want to calculate alpha plus beta, then you can sum these two and take the LCM and then calculate it. So let us do it. 3 under root minus 31, since 2 is LCM, so 2 is taken as LCM, plus 3 minus under root minus 31. So this 31 and 31 get cancelled. 3 plus 3 is 6. So 6 by 2 is equals to 3. So friends, this is one of the method, but we are giving the direct formula to calculate sum of the roots, that is minus b by a. So in this equation b is minus 3 and a is 1. So alpha plus beta can directly be calculated from the equation as minus of minus 3 divided by 1 is equals to 3, which is same as that. Similarly, alpha into beta product of roots will be given by c by a, that means minus 10 by 1. So directly you can calculate the product of the root, or you can multiply these two and find the same result as minus 10. So this relation is useful when you are asked to find the quadratic equation given that the sum of the roots and the product of the roots. So in problems where you have been given sum of the roots as 6 and product of the roots as 4, then if you are asked to calculate the quadratic equation, then you can calculate the quadratic equation too. So this will be the reverse process. Till now we have been calculating the roots from the quadratic equation. Now we can also find the quadratic equation from the roots. If we have given the roots or the relation between the roots, then we can calculate the quadratic equation too. Let us see how. So to get the equation back, when roots of the quadratic equation alpha and beta is given, then x is equals to alpha and beta. These are the roots of the quadratic equation, and we know that x is obtained from two expressions, that is x minus alpha, x minus beta. Then we equate these two identity to 0 individually and then find alpha and beta. So this is the reverse process we are doing it. Now we multiply these two expressions and we get x square minus alpha x minus beta x plus alpha beta is equals to 0, and then we take x as common between these two terms, then x square remains as it is, and we take x common as, so it will become minus alpha plus beta plus alpha beta will remain as it is equals to 0. And alpha and beta we have told you is nothing but sum of the roots, and alpha beta is the product of the roots, so which is the same form, a x square plus bx plus c. So we have got the quadratic equation as x square minus sum of roots x plus product of roots is equals to 0. So we can get our quadratic equation back from the roots if it is given. So friends, this completes our all the concepts. Now I request you to by heart these identities, and these are the prerequisites to solve the quadratic equation problems. A plus b whole square is equals to a square plus b square plus 2ab, or you can write it as into a plus b whole square minus 2ab. So a minus b square is a square plus b square minus 2ab, and a plus b whole cube is a cube plus b cube plus 3ab within bracket a plus b. And if you want to expand a cube plus b cube, then you can write it as a plus b whole cube minus 3ab within bracket a plus b. A minus b whole cube is a cube minus b cube minus 3ab within bracket a minus b. So these identities are very useful while solving the problems of quadratic equation. Friends, I told you that under root minus 1 is nothing but I, and I denotes the imaginary value. The roots of the quadratic equation may be either real or imaginary. So if you are encounter with the roots which has under root negative 1, then it is denoted by imaginary value. Suppose your value of x is coming out to be under root minus 5, then minus can be taken out, or we can write it as under root minus 1 into under root 5. Under root minus 1 is nothing but I, and 5 will be written as it is. So this represents the imaginary value. So it does not have any real value, no real value. So we have to find the roots, nature of the roots. So this is our last concept, to find the nature of the roots. So we roots are real and equal, or whether the roots are both real and imaginary part. So in order to find the nature of the root, we have to calculate the discriminant. The discriminant is nothing but b square minus 4ac, and this term we have seen in the Sridharacharya formula, which is x is equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So if this term is coming out to be negative, then it will give us this condition, and minus 1 is nothing but I, under root minus 1 is nothing but I, so this will give us imaginary value. So if b square minus 4ac is negative, that means less than 0, so the root will be imaginary when b square minus 4ac is less than 0. If b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then it will give us the real value. But when b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, that means when this part will become 0, then we are left with only minus b by 2a. But quadratic equation has two solutions. So we will have two same solution. That means roots will be real and equal. That means the solution will be minus b by 2a and minus b by 2a. So roots will be same, both the roots will be same, and they will be real. So when b square minus 4ac is equals to 0, then roots will be real and equal. This is the very important condition, and you will find many problems based on this condition. Suppose you will be given one equation, x square minus 3x minus 10, which we have already calculated, and you are asked to check whether the roots are real or imaginary. So in this equation our roots were 3 plus under root minus 31. That means b square minus 4ac is coming out to be minus 31, that is less than 0. So its roots are imaginary. When b square minus 4ac is equals to 30 or any positive value, so it is greater than 0, that means roots will be real. So with this you can calculate the nature of the roots and solve the problems.